I thought I knew the game. I thought it was about the bike, the sponsors, and the grind. After 4 years, I realized the truth I needed to learn had nothing to do with dirt, but instead had everything to do with me. And no one will tell you this truth until now. For 4 years, I chased podiums and race results. I learned more from failing than I did from winning. Here are the most valuable lessons I wish I knew on day one. I started competing in dirt bike races in 2022. I had always ridden dirt bikes, but never saw it as a competitive sport. My dad introduced me to dirt bikes at a young age as something we did for fun. I always loved riding dirt bikes throughout my entire childhood, and when I graduated high school in 2020, it became the perfect way for me to continue my athletic lifestyle. I always played sports in high school and fell in love with racing dirt bikes because it allowed me to live out my athletic identity beyond my high school years. The last 4 years of racing has been unforgettable, to say the least. From injuries that'll probably last forever, to thousands of dollars in engine repairs, I have learned so much about dirt bike racing the hard way. My goal with this video is that somebody starting out racing, or even just dirt biking in general, will watch this video and learn something, therefore saving themselves time and so much more. If you're aspiring to be better and want to speed up your progression, this video is for you. Without wasting any time, let's get started. So the first truth that I learned from 4 years of racing is that nobody cares. And that might sound a little bit harsh, but it's actually a good thing. So as a beginner, it's very easy to think that you're under a spotlight. At least for me it was. It was very often that I found myself riding in my own head. I was worried about what was going on behind me. I would have a fear of holding up the faster riders. All this did was mess with my head and make my riding even worse. I would end up losing control of my dirt bike because I was distracted, and I would almost get run over while trying to move out of the way. Dirt bike racing is an extremely mentally demanding sport. So many people think it's all about twisting the throttle and don't realize the focus it takes to fully lock in on the track. Being able to analyze the track and find the best lines is just as important as having a powerful engine. That's why it's so important to be in the right mindset and focus on your own race instead of other things. In reality, the best riders out on the track are focused on their own race and they're not worried about anything else except for where they're going. Once I started to just ride my own race, riding the dirt bike was more effortless.
Absolutely plowing through the snow right now. This is so sick, guys.
There have also been many times where I've let riders by because I was so focused on the fact that I could hear them behind me, just to find that exact person I let by on the ground in the next corner. I say all this to tell you that once you start to focus on your own race and stop worrying about all the other riders on the track and all the other distractions in life, your flow state and overall riding skills will improve. Okay, so that's the first truth I learned from 4 years of racing. Nobody cares. Ride your own race. It's easier said than done, but as you may know, the mental game is so important. Eliminate these distractions and just focus on the ride. So that takes us into the second truth that I learned from years of dirt bike racing, which is going to be that seat time doesn't make you better. This might be a bit of a hot take, but hear me out. Focusing on a specific aspect of riding improves your skills slightly over a long period of time. What I mean by this is it's not the seat time that improves the skills, it's the drill time. So try one thing at a time. Every time I'm riding, I'm improving upon one thing. It could be footwork, back posture, my elbow positioning, whatever it is, pick one thing and focus on that throughout the entire ride. Focusing on one thing will simplify each ride and make your trail ride feel more like a drill or a practice. Another reason I say seat time doesn't make you better is because you can improve off the bike through the gym, researching, and by brainstorming improvements. Kinda like you're doing right now if you're still watching this video. AJ Catanzaro from the Moto Academy often talks about the idea of studying moto. Although he's talking about motocross racing and I'm talking about woods racing, it still applies to the same concept, which is dirt bikes. So just start studying moto. By this I mean watch riders and clips. Watch your own riding footage. Start to learn the proper technique. I'd go farther to say that even learning how to work on your dirt bike builds confidence on the bike. I know personally that when I spend hours in the garage installing tires, new chain and sprocket, setting up my suspension, or whatever I'm doing that day, I feel much better the next time I go to the track. It's like I know that my bike is taken care of, and it crosses off a box of the things that could possibly go wrong. That concludes number 2. Seat time doesn't make you better. This is sort of a blanket statement that also stands for like studying dirt bikes as a whole and just enjoying the whole process of learning. Whether it's riding technique or mechanical maintenance, knowledge is key in building confidence, and confidence goes a long way in dirt bike racing. This brings us into the next truth, which is that you must respect the motorcycle. It's both dangerous and fragile. It can hurt you, and you can hurt it. Be responsible and don't make decisions based off ego. Unfortunately, if you're racing dirt bikes, it's not if, it's when, in terms of injuries and mechanical failures. Whether it's a bone or a dirt bike part, something is bound to break. As I mentioned before, I broke my thumb last season on the first race of the season and had to race a full season with a broken thumb. I managed to actually have a pretty successful season and finish third place in the championship. I did this by adapting to my body. I used my limited strength and limited motion and did better than I would have ever imagined. I'm by no means trying to brag, but more just trying to show how I accomplished things that I once saw as impossible. Another time I learned the truth that you need to respect your motorcycle was at the Southwick motocross track in 2023. I had just bought my first brand new dirt bike off the showroom floor, a 2023 KTM 250 XCF. The same bike I'm riding in this video, and the same bike I'm doing a rebuild on my channel right now actually. Anyways, the night before this race it rained 12 inches of rain, and rained all morning up until the race. I hate to turn back, so I went out to race, super excited to ride in the muddy conditions. I said, bring it on, let's get to it. I made it about 2 laps before I drowned my bike in a puddle that swallowed my brand new KTM right up to the handlebars. It then went on to cost me about $5,000 in repairs to get the bike back to running condition. The parts were also on back order at the time from supply chain issues from COVID, so it took a full year to get my bike back to me. I had completely ruined the motor and sucked mud and water into the engine, and 100% ruined the internals of my brand new dirt bike. I'll include some pictures and clips of that because it was absolutely devastating to say the least. I'm out at the garage now. I just pulled out the old motor that I cooked through that mud puddle that I told you guys about. So you can see here there's some discoloring right there on that left side. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know much about motors and dirt bike engines, but here it is. And this thing was completely filled with mud. So I saved these old parts hoping that maybe one day I'd get some use out of them so they wouldn't go completely to waste. But I just wanted to show you guys that so that you can get an idea of what actually happened. And here is this Akrapovic exhaust, which will be going on the bike in the bike build series. So if you guys are interested to see what this thing looks like, sounds like, and performs like, go check out that video. So that's that. Let's get back to the video. This is how I learned to respect my dirt bike the hard way. Coming from such a dark place of losing something I was so invested into at the time, I was able to use the time off the bike to improve in other areas. First, I learned not to ride my bike through puddles that will submerge the exhaust and the air filter. Second, I learned how to train for dirt biking. With all my extra time off, I started to go to the gym and doing mobility sets and other fitness routines. I started doing foundation training, I started mountain biking, and I bought my first full suspension mountain bike. While mountain biking is completely different from dirt biking, it's also very similar, and it kept me improving on the skills like turning and jumping, as well as improving my cardiovascular fitness. From the injuries and that full year without my bike and the thousands of dollars spent to get the bike running again, I learned to respect the motorcycle. These race bikes are crazy powerful. That power can hurt you or you can damage the bike. Accept this truth now and save yourself a lot of time, pain, and money. Here we are, we've made it to the last truth that I learned from 4 years of dirt bike racing. The last truth is that one race can't win it all. And it sounds obvious, but we've all been there before where we push too hard and get bitten by an injury or an expensive dirt bike part. Championships aren't won in one race, they're won throughout the entire year. Every single day goes towards the end result. Whether it's a second place finish or a fifth place finish, they all add up. You truly never know how your opponent will finish, and that could make or break the championship as well. It's happened to me pretty often where I'd be in second place pushing for first place. I'd end up pushing too hard, crashing, and losing a position, ending up in 3rd or maybe even sometimes 4th or 5th place. It's key to know when to push and when to reserve your energy in dirt bike racing. Something that I've heard the old pro Ricky Carmichael say that stuck out to me is that if you're going to finish 2nd, take a 2nd. Don't rush your ride and turn a 2nd place into a 5th place or even worse. This is another one that seems obvious, but while you're in the race, it's hard to see the bigger picture. For example, I didn't realize how close I was going to be to winning the championship until about halfway through the season. If I was able to see the bigger picture at the beginning of the season, I would have been more careful with pushing and reserving my energy during the races. As I mentioned earlier, I broke my thumb in the first race of the season. This was from pushing way too hard at the wrong time, resulting in an accident that cost me my entire thumb. So this is a truth that I learned just this past year, and that's that one race can't win it all. I'm going to be using this knowledge next year in A-Class, and I'm positive that this outlook on the entirety of the season will help me reach my goals. I encourage you all to try the same as well. Comment below something you wish you knew sooner about dirt biking or dirt bike racing as a whole. So that's going to finish up my list of the top truths that I learned in 4 years of racing dirt bikes. Just to debrief and leave you guys with something to think about, I covered lessons such as the fact that nobody cares. This one goes hand in hand with self-confidence and the overall mental aspect of nervousness and all the other emotions associated with lining up for a race. The next truth I covered was that seat time doesn't make you better. This truth meant that while yes, riding is essential, it'll only get you so far. The other ways to improve are studying the sport as a whole and working out. This one is related directly to skill progression and how to get better. The third thing that I learned was to respect the motorcycle. I learned the hard way that these two-wheeled machines can hurt us, and we can damage them. This one is part of just controlling your thoughts so you can preserve your body and your bike. And last but not least is that one race can't win it all. This simply just stands for consistency is key, and to accomplish goals, it will take time and dedication. This would be part of the strategy category.
I'm going to make sure everything's all good, dry up my goggles, and I'll keep pushing.
That's everything, guys. I hope you either learned something or got some entertainment out of this video. Go drop a like if you did, it means a lot. I thought it would be an interesting topic, and I also thought it would be a good chance for me to tell you guys a little bit about my life so far. Here's to another year of learning the truths about dirt bikes. Go check out my KTM bike build series, which is starting to kick off right now as we speak. I'll see you on the next ride.